Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate here, Champions Real Estate Team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner, the second team leader here. We jump on here every Wednesday and kind of give you a rundown what's going on in the real estate market over the last 7 days. I like to start off with a quick tip. So a quick tip here is average utilities. So one of those things that buyers, when you're looking to buy a house, especially if you're really trying to watch that monthly payment, one thing you can do is give a call to the local utilities. If you're in the Omaha metro area, MUD, Black Hills Energy, OPPD, and you just call them and give them the property address and say, hey, can I get the 12-month average? Now, ultimately, that's going to be the average of the current, occupants, the sellers, more than likely. But yeah, at least it gives you a rough idea. That's something I do when I list a house. I get all that information. When I make my home book, I put that in there so that at the house, when buyers are looking at going through a showing, they can open up that book and say, okay, it's $150 a month for, OPPD, it's $200 a month for MUD, whatever those numbers are. And then that buyer has that little extra knowledge and little extra information that they can go make an educated decision and say, okay, what's the interest rates at? What's my homeowner's insurance? Okay, what's the taxes? Okay, and then that one variable that most of the times they don't have is that utility information. But that's just one thing you can look at if that's an important piece of the puzzle for your monthly payment. So it's very simple. You basically just give those utility companies a call and just say, hey, can I get the 12-month average? So like I said, that's something I do for all my listings. So that way I have that information for those buyers when they're looking at the house. So they can make that decision when they're at the house, whether they want to pursue writing an offer or say, okay, maybe this one's just a little out of our budget and let's go get something we're more comfortable with. So quick tip, average utilities, very simple to do. Your agent can do it for you. I do it for my clients and things of that sort. So we're here to help go through that process. So let's jump in right now and see what's going on in the real estate market as far as the last 7 days. Get out of there. So we had 676 new listings go live as of about 10 minutes ago. In the last 7 days, we had 465 contracts go or new houses go pending. So we're seeing a lot of that activity. Obviously, that 676 number is, I think last week it was 477. So we had an additional 200 houses come on the market, which is great. We're getting more inventory out there. Obviously, our numbers are what your buckets are. Pending contracts are up as well. Where are we at? Last week we were at 400. The previous week we're 455. So we're kind of right around that 400, 450, ballpark. But like we said, we're getting more houses come on the market and sold homes just under that 400 mark. So that's numbers ticking up a little bit. Obviously, that's indicative of what the market was doing, 30, 45 days ago, which is what's on average of those houses getting sold. So, like I said, spring market weather's a little crummy today as far as rain and stuff. But other than that, I mean, it's been a pretty good, weather-wise to get out there and look at houses, get the homes on the market, and all that good stuff. So we're starting to see that come up. Let's look at the 30,000-foot view. Like I said, this is just something, I keep a finger on, a pulse on, but I don't take too much grain of salt with these numbers. I more look at what each week, how many are coming on, going off. This number just kind of fairly stays pretty regular here. So we're at 2943. It was at 28 and some change last week, and then 1675. I think we're like 1630 something. So we're up 40. Even though we have 200 more houses that went on the market versus what our pendings was, that number hasn't really changed too much in that Douglas County because also those numbers that I just showed you in the previous graph is for all of the MLS. So these numbers here, that 1600 is just Douglas and Sarpy County. So our MLS includes the Omaha and Lincoln areas and kind of the surrounding counties and everything, kind of mostly on the eastern side of Nebraska here. So we had 653 existing homes, up just a little bit on that, not very much. 922 on the, I think it was 913 last week. So that new construction number has not changed too much. Months of inventory, 2.7. So it also is indicative. So like I said, this is the overall months of inventory. So when I'm working with buyers and or sellers, I look exactly what is their market doing in that specific neighborhood, and then, for, buyers, what competition are we going to be dealing with? For sellers, where are we going to price the house? And all that kind of good stuff. Average sold price kind of hovering right around that 340, 338 mark. Hasn't really changed too much over the last couple of months. But yeah, like I said, we're seeing more houses come on the market. I got a new listing coming up at 4517 Pine Street, which is in the Morton Meadows area. It's a brick Tudor, awesome house. I'm going to list it at 400. Actually, pictures are getting done as we speak. I was there this morning getting it all shined and ready to go. So we have professional cleaners in there. So it's basically 100% move-in ready. A lot of nice updates. So you'll see that coming on our website and all my social media and stuff like that coming up on Friday. So once I get the pictures, we'll rock and roll with that. So I don't expect that one to last too long. the listing that we had last week that went live, we had multiple offers on it, and basically we had that one under contract by the end of the weekend. So, that was at 215. So, kind of most of the price points are kind of moving right now. Obviously, like I said, more buyers are coming in the marketplace. Weather's getting nicer. It's just that typical historical time. Spring is usually when most people start putting houses on the market, and all that good stuff. So if you have questions, reach out to us here at Champions Real Estate Team. We're happy to help you. Jump on Zoom, meet you at the office, meet you at the coffee shop, get a good idea, get a game plan. I do a lot of coaching sports and stuff like that, so I'm teaching, and so that's kind of how my brain works, is get you a game plan, get you a scouting report of what the buyers are looking at, what the sellers are looking at, and having an agent that's constantly in the market. Like I said, we just had a listing go live last week, sold last week. We got, multiple offers on it. What do those multiple offers look like? What type of financing? Are they doing home inspections? What other kind of incentives are they trying to get their offer to get to the top? So those are things that we can kind of, transpire over to our buyers and say, hey, here's what other buyers are doing in the marketplace. Here's what we suggest. What can we do, to get you a seat at the table? That's one thing I always talk about to my clients is, hey, my goal as a buyer's agent is get you a seat at the table. Maybe it comes down to home inspection, something like that. The agent calls me and says, hey, Mark, does your client still want to do the home inspection? I know you have it checked off. Now I can go back to my client and say, hey, what would you like to do? This is what they're asking, and then you get a chance to say yes or no, and, where your comfortability level is. And then, rather than me just getting the phone call saying, hey, Mark, sorry, you didn't get the house, we went with a different offer, best of luck to you, all that kind of song and dance, and there's not much we can do. As a buyer, it's frustrating. Oh gosh, what could we have done different? Could we gone up in price? Could we done this? Could we done that? But if you have a seat at the table, and I come back to you and say, hey, this is what they're asking for. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And then you can say yes or no. It's more of a, that you have a little bit of control in the situation through there. So that's what our goal is to coach you to get to that point, to get a seat at the table in those negotiations. Because in multiple offers, a lot of times they throw the highest and best. And, the agents, we look at them, we don't really, the seller agent may not call that agent because like, oh, well, they're probably not going to go up or not going to do this or not going to do that. They don't even give you a chance, and set up a nice little text message saying, hey, appreciate the offer and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, mortgage rates, unfortunately, Russ isn't able to jump on with us today, but they're kind of hovering, give or take on what your credit score is and all that good stuff. Debt to income ratios, they're kind of right around that 6.5, give or take 6.5 to 7. So, but so I mean, like I said, we're still seeing a lot of competition. You're gonna see some of those prices go up in certain areas and things of that sort. So, but give us a holler. Happy to sit down with you, get a game plan, 672-7670. But appreciate everybody listening. Like I said, like, subscribe, all that good stuff on the social media everyone always asks for. But we're here to help you most of all. So if you have questions, you want to hear any topics that you want to cover, any comments that you have on any of the videos, we love to hear them. But yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. So like I said, new listing going live in the Morton Meadows area. If you got anybody, know anybody, give them a holler. If they're working with an agent, awesome. We're working with buyers agents. But if they're not working with an agent, reach out to us here at Champions Real Estate Team and we'll take care of them. But yeah, 4517 Pine Street. Awesome Brook Tudor house. But yeah, you'll see more pictures on our website, as well as on our Champions Facebook page, Instagram, all that good stuff. So cool.